Okay, we're going to talk more about the tipping point. Yes, I'm still on my computer because I did buy camera number 5. It doesn't have the right card. That's coming tomorrow. Let's see if this baby makes it. If not, I'm not going to stop communicating with you because I'm going to talk about the tipping point. What is a tipping point? Well, it's in my book. You guys know what it is. We're not getting to it. We're in it. And I want to talk about how that works. What is happening out there? Because it's so blatantly obvious with a lot of people. And I want to talk about the symptoms, the results of what's happening here, why it's happening, and what you can expect. And I'm really going to do that. I'm really going to tell you exactly what to expect. All right. Yeah, put your seatbelt on, but this is really good, right? Because at the other end of that dip is a nice long click, 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 click. The ride doesn't stop. Are you ready for this? Okay, this is going to be good stuff. Let's go. Welcome to Landria Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through fears and live an amazing life. Oop, take a look at this. Happy birthday to me. A friend sent this, one of my besties on the planet. I've known her for about 25 years and looks like a cake. It's not. It's flowers, right? It's flowers. So I want to share something with you. First of all, I hope that you'll subscribe. Please support the positive change and the channels that share that message. All right. Everything we do counts, and I cannot express this enough. I know you don't think that you are important. Some of you have actually said that. Well, why should I stop using plastic? I'm one person. Well, why stop doing any one rotten thing? Because it's you and it's your karma and it's your contribution and it's your planet. And you are the one. It's like cutting off your finger. Oh, it's a baby finger. Let's cut it off. Well, let's cut this one. And then pretty soon you can't even feed yourself, and you better hope somebody else will. And that's how we work as a community. And we have to pay attention to everything right now. I'm going to share this with you. All right. So we talked about Breakthrough Fear, my book. I bring it up every time because it explains everything in there. And if you read it, you will get such an understanding of what's really happening on this level. This level. It was channeled to me, and you get these messages. I want you to start listening, but you have to recognize ego versus let's just say, the quantum field. Now, I talked about the space that is here. I'm going to explain this again. You're going to love this. The space that's here, it never has left. It's unlimited. You can access it from whatever vibration you're in or frequency by various ways. One is quantum jumping. Okay, something weird's going on right now. All right, we're still recording. We can go through quantum jumping. That's when you learn how to release all of your barriers and you go into the field of which everything's available to you. Now we have, I mentioned somebody said his name, Bert Goldberg. One of my students mentioned Bert Goldberg was well known in his 70s, would go quantum jumping, and he'd go into the space where he learned how to play instruments. He learned how to create art. And by the way, he made millions of dollars doing this. He wasn't like just, I should never charge for things. Charge. You know what? If people benefit and it benefits the world and you flourish abundantly and you do good things, it's always intention with this abundance. You can do this. So you can go into the quantum field that exists right now. It's not something you have to get to. We're always separating things. There's heaven and there's God. No, everything's one thing happening. Read the book. So he's able to get there. Near-death experiences, as I explained in my last video, is when people die and they go into the space, they release the body, and now they are that pure energy field of which now they're connected, conscious of the space of purity. And so when they come back, I always say they're poking a hole in that veil, and so there's a portal open to them. And so when they come back through, they have that connection to the, the psychic abilities or whatever it is that, healing, all these kinds you've heard this before, right? It's not with everybody. The third way, there are many other ways, but the third major way is enlightenment. That is when you just go into a space, you don't have any intentions to go into space. Enlightenment just, makes you conscious of the space. So the space is here. Accessing it is just the consciousness of it. And you can't go into consciousness and access it. It's like, okay, I'm under a blanket. I'm going, oh, I want to access the sun and mountains. I want to access it. And then somebody pulls it off and goes, hello. And you go, oh, it's here. I just wasn't doing any. I was under my veil. So you can, through enlightenment, remove the veils, the illusion, because it always was there. Does this make sense? And that's through high frequency. The veil, consider the veil, the chosen illusion of density, which includes ego. So when you release your limitations, a lot of your, you've got ideas how things are, and you get upset when somebody doesn't agree with you or think the same thing. That's separation, pointing fingers, it's ugliness. And you'll live in ugliness. That's okay. There's beauty in ugliness. We learn from there, hopefully. That's what's going on there. Now, what's happened is we've been in such a dense space for so long, right? That's the whole structure of planet Earth. We can change it at any moment, by the way, that we have gone into and through the tipping point now. It's like when the shelf that has every item on it breaks, all the items fall off. It's not one thing, okay? When you put thousands of things in the ocean and I can't see it's under the ocean, at some point it comes to the surface and everything comes barreling at us. The earth and everything is spewing back the, let's just say the imbalance. That's the word. It's spewing the imbalance back to us. So all these by the way, the internet went out while I was working out. And so, we have these monitors and mine blipped out. A bunch of people's blipped out. I said, what's going on with the program? We had lost the internet for 15 minutes. And I said, okay, this is going on a lot. It's not just me. Now, I want to share something with you. So we're going to talk about the electronics first, and then we're going to talk about the energy and all of the tipping point and what it is. When I told you that I lost 4 cameras now, a vacuum cleaner, we were talking about it could be the manufacturer, could be anything, a computer, a car. It just goes on and on. I could sit here all day and tell you all the crazy things that are going on that I find actually pretty humorous. Somebody was saying, she's stressed, she's tired. No, I'm not. I think this is entertaining. Hey, stop thinking that way because, you don't have to stop thinking that way. You can keep thinking that way. I'm letting you know, I don't think like that. I don't go into that space of, oh, I'm tired and this is stressful. No, it's not. I am so grateful. I have an amazing life. And guess what? You do too. You do too, no matter what's going on, because you have powers to change anything. And you have opportunities through any challenges to excel and evolve and use them as my students do. My students are using challenges that they've been through to teach others, to create courses, to be coaches, to do all these things. And they're earning money. With the whole thing is to earn money online, secondary to what am I going to do with this experience as a person? What's my purpose? How can I create something amazing? Then I'll create something I do for a living with it instead of harming the planet over here to get paid, miserable, hate it. And then I'll come over and be a coach and try to be, all la la. Doesn't work that way. So I tell people, transition that space of your life into something beautiful and then share it with the world and get paid. Doesn't this make sense? Well, here's what we've been doing. We're separating everything and we say, okay, so I have to earn money. Oh, and then what I'm doing for a living, I'm polluting the planet. And by the way, I'm really sick. It's a tipping point of everything. And it's spitting back at us. So I remember when I lived in Atlanta, we had rain for days. It was a fallout from a hurricane, rain for days, torrential. And, there's a little bit of water. I remember being in a building for a meeting, and within minutes, the internet went out, the lights went out, the roof in the other end of the building collapsed. The Sewers went within minutes, cars up to the middle of the door, water. And so it wasn't that way for days. It was in minutes that happened. It hadn't been happening in the minutes. It had been happening all the time. It hit the tipping point, and all of a sudden, the repercussions of that. Cars were going underwater. We were trying to get home. Trees were falling down. Electrical lines were everywhere. People were abandoning their cars. I saw entire neighborhoods went underwater. You could just see the roofs. I was in a truck, thank God. I barely made it home. That was a tipping point. That's what we're in. Now, here's what I want to remind you of. So we're going to put it into perspective. I think you're really going to like this because this is actually exciting. I don't know who said that this is a stressful thing. It's interesting and crazy, but I want you to remember when I told you that I can never wear watches as a child, have never been able to, like you. I can walk past lights and they'll go out, the street lights and all that stuff. Sometimes that's coincidence, sometimes not. There are no coincidences. But anyways, definitely I affect electronics greatly. I'm just putting out a strong electromagnetic field. It's not some mysterious thing. So dense humans, we go, oh, it's evil and they're trying to stop it. No, it's just like, wow, we all have equal power. We're just using it differently. So do not go into fear. Just break through it. It's like, okay, ooh, feeling it, but I don't have to react to it anymore. I just recognize it's part of the game. So what happens is, think about this. If I'm a strong electromagnetic field and I do that, it's never been a bad thing, although it's a pain in the butt for my parents who bought, I don't know how many watches and finally realized it was me. And so what happened is I realized, okay, this is some kind of power that I don't recognize, just like some people are psychic mediums, other people have other things. What if right now the powers, the electromagnetic fields of certain people are magnifying, they're multiplying, I should say. So maybe what if mine's getting stronger? Now, here's what I want you to remember. If you are staying in that high frequency space or you're breaking through fear and your frequencies are going up, you can increase that electromagnetic field. It's getting more powerful. You can actually feel it. All right. We do exercises. One of my students, they're doing the chi ball, the power ball. You start to feel you're increasing this beautiful light electromagnetic field. All right. So the tipping point is things are going to go into the power and or the detriment or whatever it is, because it's gone into a space of tipping over into imbalance. Okay. So those things that are negative are now, the earth is spewing stuff back at us, fires, earthquakes, all this stuff. We're doing it. She's giving us back what we've done to her. So if you don't take care of your body and you're eating garbage and you're smoking and you're doing all kinds of cray stuff, it spews back at you, not because it's angry at you, because you're doing it. That is the result of how you've treated it. This is what's going on out there. Okay, electronics, we have gone crazy with it. I just want you to remember, you go put all these, you guys on the internet, you know how this works, right? You've got plugins and software and all this stuff, and all of a sudden they stop talking to each other. Well, this plugin doesn't work with this one, and you have to put codes to connect them, and the communications stop working well because everything's being so independently created. And so it's done in such a massive way that it's now gone to a tipping point where it's malfunctioning. So society, we stop talking to each other. We stop helping each other. We start to go into a space of conflict and detriment. People are sitting there not getting the help they need. The community doesn't come together to assist the family in need. Remember when, you used to see the movies, Little House on the Prairie, and they build somebody's home, the community would build their home and they'd build their home. We're not functioning like that anymore. There's some wonderful things happening. Yes, there are. But overall, we go into panic mode and separation. This is the tipping point of everything. Now, because we're going in such an unknown, very, very threatening new world, those in density are going to emit there. And I said this is what I believe is going on. I believe others in fear, the greater the fear that this is going into the field, has a direct effect on everyone. So that panic and fear is going to affect the collective. And I said, I don't believe things are happening to me. Personally, it's not a conspiracy. I believe that because I happen to be in this field of sharing light, one, raising the frequency of the planet, one light being at a time, that's my little tagline, that it's affecting me in a different kind of way, perhaps. I don't have those answers. No one does. I want to share something about someone who went over to the other side and accessed this information in the future. She has the insane ability to have dreams. I have had these two prophetic dreams of plane crashes. It's never nice stuff. I don't know why. Maybe they're warnings, floods, things like that. I've had these, written them down, and I could tell you, the date and of a crash, how many people died on it, what the plane looked like. I've actually written that down, and a couple of those did happen. Other things did not. Why? She said it. I've told you this before, and this is the biggest part of this whole video and everything I'm going to teach you. Not especially Edgar Cayce, Nostradamus, I've talked about this constantly, didn't succeed with their predictions, not because they didn't see that and it wasn't happening, because it is a probability that is existing. We're not choosing it in this illusion that we're playing out. We switched somewhere along the road. You can always switch. You can always change the outcome. You can always change the story. You can always change the reality for yourself and others. You'll live in the collective because you can't get away from that. We're one. However, you can, because you're a human being that opted to play an individual journey. It's illusion, but you get to play it out. You get to choose an individual reality. So you can be in a beautiful state of mind and just joyful and know we're going through crazy times, but you won't feel that. You won't feel the fear. You'll actually get excited because finally we're changing. We're letting go of the destructive things. We're letting go of it's okay. We're letting go of giving approval to people who are allowed because of our whoever's in control says it's okay to make things that harm the planet and children and everything else. It should never be allowed. What world allows that? What world allows chemicals to be sprayed on food that kill anything? Obviously, it's going to kill us. Oh, no, it's safe for humans, but it's going to kill a bunch of insects. We are the insects. We're everything. That's impossible. I want you to think about that. We are now coming into oneness, and you will experience the tipping point of all of the destructive and the beautiful things going on, It will gain power. The electromagnetic field is going to expand, and maybe the Schumann resonance will raise. I haven't checked it lately. I really go by what I feel all the time, as you guys know. And so it is possible. And as I shared with you in my last video about the space kids, we're affecting great change, global change in a positive way. And they were meditating on light and love and peace. No, get rid of the evil ones. They were just light and love to everyone, especially the evil ones. You calling anything evil? He without sin cast the first stone. That you do to the least of us, you do to me. That you do to the least of us, you do to me. Even if you're not a Christian, you've got that one. That's a scary one. The least of us. Who's that? If you do something intentional, including your thoughts, your separation, blame, anger, calling somebody evil, guess what? They're making choices. They're coming from fear and density, lack of love. How do we battle that? You don't battle it. You create the solutions. You guys have seen this. Come on over. I will show you how to take anything, even if you don't know what it is, how to create something so beautiful and you create an actual business out of it. You promote it out there, you change people's lives. It could be anything. Inventions, amazing health products, healthy products, coaching, ceremonial healings, Reiki. It could be anything, anything. Step by step, I help you to create it. What is it? You don't have to know. You come in, we create a powerful new way of life, of business, and no one is allowed to harm the planet on my platform. You can learn that from somebody else who doesn't care. It's not going to be with me. That's how you take control. You just don't allow it. You don't participate in it. You don't watch the conspiracy stuff that gives AI that information that says, oh, you like this. Yes, let's give you more of this. All right. Oh, let's give you more of these chemical foods because you keep eating them. Just say no. Tipping point. So we have to clean it up. When everything spews out, we've got to clean it up. And you can't blame other people because you are the other people. Are you ready to start cleaning it up? We can do it. And it has to be done because we want to live in a new, clean, simple world. So here's what's going to happen. You ready for this? You are going to see shortages of excess that's not healthy. It's going to be a positive thing. You will never lack for food. You're not going to be starving. You're going to learn how to purchase different ways. You're going to see manufacturers and places that have been cranking out massive amounts of stuff that we don't need, not doing as well because we're not going to support them as much, and they're not going to have some of the materials that they need. It's just not a bad thing. They will find other ways that are not destructive. You will see people that don't like their jobs misbehaving a little bit more. The servers, people are exhausted. They're tired. They're not going to do as good a job as maybe they used to because competition, they just don't care anymore. You're going to see a lot of anxiety and depression. So we can change that through shining the light and allowing them to make a higher choice. Remember, we're not here to change anybody. We're here to change this in a positive way, transform it, I should say. And through that, you affect everyone, everyone. So get ready. It's accelerating. It's accelerating, okay? And it's not to be feared. It's to be welcomed. Finally, there are going to be new things that come into your life that you never imagined possible that are healthy and new inventions, absolutely new ways of doing things, new teachings, healings, new methods to stay healthy in a world that's pretty toxic. It's all going to start to show itself. We will see internet going out. We're going to see electronics not functioning as well because they're not communicating that well. If we do get solar flares and it knocks out satellites, that's going to contribute. So it's not one thing. It is the accumulation of a planet that's been in imbalance. And so these things are not going to work so well anymore. Don't be afraid of it. Break through fear. Nothing can harm you. You're perfect. You're perfect right now. Everything else is the illusion. It's a story you're telling yourself. It's beautiful. You came here in this era. Do your job. All right. And no more looking at somebody like they're the problem. Would you smack a baby or put it outside because it fell down a few times or got mad at you? Would you harm an animal that had been abused? And then when you go to hug it, it bites you. Would you harm it? No. You would teach it that you love it because you know it came from something else and it's reaching out of fear and anger. That's all that's happening. These are babies and puppies. They really are. And there's something there so deep in them that needs to be loved. That's all you have to do. I promise you, many will start to take it. And so we're going to bring this back in balance, but we got a lot of cleanup to do. The earth she's spewing out the garbage that we've put into her and the imbalance of burning trees, cutting them down, all the abuse that we've done to her. Yes, I am going to do the training on orbs if you're in my list here. I'm going to announce that soon. My apologies, but we've had so many things to take care of. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. This is digitalexplorers.net. I'm changing how we do business online. We're going to reach global audiences with beautiful things. There are no rules. Let's create it, and I'll show you how to translate that into an income so you can take care of yourself, your loved ones, doing something amazing, changing the planet. And then we can teach other people to do that. And pretty soon, everybody's going to do things they love for a living, and they would never even think of doing something destructive. We're going into it. This is a part of that. It's unlike anything else out there. Sign up. That's a free webinar and email list. And man, I'm on it. You're whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. See you in the next video. Namaste.